Ukrainian military expert Alexander Musienko reminded Ukrainian special services that there are many legitimate targets in Moscow. First of all, Alexander Musienko addressed the Ukrainians, calling on everyone to be extremely careful and attentive, not to ignore the siren, to hide in shelters, since in the near future the Russian missile terror may intensify. Regarding how Ukraine is going to congratulate the Russians on May the 9th, the military expert said the following. The President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelenski, made a statement in his address on the evening of April the 29th that the Russians are afraid of the parade, afraid that something might happen during the parade, and let them be afraid. I think that this is a completely obvious and understandable hint from the head of the Ukrainian state that certain events in Russia, and especially in Moscow, may occur on May the 9th. I would like to remind you that there are many completely legitimate military targets of the enemy in Moscow. There are military-industrial complex facilities there. There are military units there. There are units of the strategic missile forces there. And this is another cargo cult of Putin, over which he trembles with great reverence and with which he constantly threatens the West with the use of nuclear weapons, Moscow City. These are all terrorist havens. Israel showed us an example of how to deal with terrorists striking at places where Hamas terrorists were concentrated, concluded Alexander Musienko. Earlier, Musienko explained the fear of what forced Putin to declare another truce. The first is an attempt to create the impression that Russia is interested in a truce and is taking steps in this direction. The second is an attempt by the Russian dictator to insure himself against unpleasant surprises from the air during the parade on Red Square. A military expert declassified the Kremlin's plan for a ceasefire on May the 9th. Let's clearly understand why they need this ceasefire. Firstly, this ceasefire is to demonstrate the illusion of a negotiation process, that, supposedly, Russia is interested in this and is ready to take certain steps towards it. This is the first thing that is to create such a picture. You see, there is reality as it is, and there is reality that can be created in parallel, using the media, using propaganda resources, presenting it in a way you want it to be seen, distorting reality. This has been known for a long time. I will not say anything new here. This is the first reason, and the second is very simple, because Putin is frankly afraid that his event of the century, this parade, can be spoiled and something heavy can fly over Red Square at this moment, or not only over Red Square. We saw that drones flew to the Moscow region and they flew to Moscow, explained Alexander Musienko.
Several countries were sending firefighting aircraft to Israel on Thursday as crews battled for a second day to extinguish a wildfire that had shut down a major highway linking Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and sent drivers scrambling from their cars. According to Associated Press, the fire broke out around midday on Wednesday, fueled by hot, dry conditions and fanned by strong winds that quickly whipped up the flames burning through a pine forest. Several communities were evacuated as a precaution as the smoke turned the skies over Jerusalem gray. Israel's fire and rescue services warned the public to stay away from parks or forests, and to be exceptionally careful while lighting barbecues. Thursday is Israel's Independence Day, which is typically marked with large family cookouts in parks and forests. At least 12 people were treated in hospitals on Wednesday, mainly due to smoke inhalation, while another 10 people were treated in the field, Megan David Adam Ambulance Services said. Italy, Croatia, Spain, France and Romania were sending planes to help battle the flames, while several other countries, including North Macedonia and Cyprus, were also sending water-dropping aircraft. Israeli authorities said 10 firefighting planes were operating on Thursday morning, with another 8 aircraft to arrive during the course of the day. The main highway linking Jerusalem to Tel Aviv was opened again on Thursday, a day after the flames had encroached on the road, forcing drivers to abandon their cars and flee in terror. On Thursday morning, Broad swathes of burned areas were visible from the highway, while pink anti-flame retardant dusted the top of burned trees and bushes. Smoke and the smell of fire hung heavy in the air. In 2010, a massive forest fire burned for 4 days on northern Israel's Mount Carmel, claiming 44 lives and destroying around 12,000 acres, much of it woodland.
בעוד 3.2 קילומטרים. פנה שמאלה.
كل شيء الأوتوبيس يعني تاخدوه تمشوا يعني
طلع
والله بابا بالظبط بعدين
يعني انت ما نصرف شيء عشان نشوفه يا
مدينة ليلة تبغى بشيء نور شد بس كان شبود عليه واي ريت عليه